أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وكذلك جعلناكم أمة وسطا لتكونوا شهداء على الناس ويكون الرسول عليكم شهيدا وما جعلنا القبلة التي كنت عليها إلا لنعلم من يتبع الرسول ممن ينقلب على عقبيه وإن كانت لكبيرة إلا على الذين هدى الله وما كان الله ليضيع أيمانكم إن الله بالناس لرؤوف رحيم. And thus have we willed you to be a community of the middle way, so that with your lives you might bear witness to the truth before all mankind, and that the apostle might bear witness to it before you. And thus we have wanted you to be a community, a group of people, and they are just people, so that with your lives you might bear witness to the truth. If people look at you, they will see the oneness of God because you obey Allah before all mankind, in front of people, and that the apostle, Rasul in Arabic, might bear witness to it before you. He will be a good example for you as well. Explanation 119, i.e. that your way of life be an example to all mankind, just as the apostle Rasulullah ﷺ is an example to you. Sorry, there was another explanation before that, explanation 118, literally middlemost community, middlemost community being in the middle, i.e. a community that keeps an equitable balance between extremes, equitable, reasonable balance or just balance between extremes, between edges and limits, and is realistic in its appreciation of man's nature and possibilities, rejecting both licentious marked by disregard for strict rules of correctness and exaggerated asceticism. In Arabic language, asceticism is zuhd, the practice of strict self-denial as a measure of personal and especially spiritual discipline. In tune with its repeated often, call to moderation in every aspect of life, the Quran exhorts the believers, urges the believers not to place too great an emphasis on the physical and material aspect of their lives, but postulates at the same time, accept as true. At the same time that man's urges and desires relating to this life of the flesh, this life as far as I understand, are God-willed and therefore legitimate. So Muslims live in this world and it is a legitimate life. They will make use of whatever they have, but in a right way. On further analysis, the expression "a community of the middle way" might be said to summarize, explains or express, as it were, the Islamic attitude towards the problem of man's existence as such. A denial of the view that there is an intrinsic, essential conflict between the spirit and the flesh body, and a bold affirmation, clear affirmation, declaration of the natural God-willed unity in this twofold aspect of human life, God-willed divine unity in this twofold two aspect of human life. This balanced attitude, peculiar, specific to Islam, flows directly from the concept of God's oneness and hence of the unity of purpose underlying all His creation, covering the bottom of all His creation, and thus the mention of the community of the middle way at this place is a fitting introduction to the theme of the Kaaba, a symbol of God's oneness. This verse continues, and it is only to the end that we might make a clear distinction between those who follow the apostle and those who turn about on their heels, that we have appointed for this community the direction of prayer, which thou, O Prophet, hast formerly observed. For this was indeed a hard test for all, but those whom God has guided aright. But God will surely not lose sight of your faith, for behold, God is the most compassionate towards man, a dispenser of grace. And it is only to the end that we might make a clear distinction between those people who follow the apostle, messenger of God, and those who turn about, who disobey. They turn about on their heels. This is a metaphor that we have appointed for this community, Muslim society, the direction of prayer, which thou, O Prophet, messenger, has formerly observed, has previously observed. For this was indeed a hard test for all, because do Muslims will change the Qibla according to the Quranic verse or not. They will obey the messenger of God or disobey the messenger of God. This is a test for them. This is a test for Muslims who were idolaters. Also, it's a test for Muslims who were in the past Christians or Jewish people. But those whom God has guided properly. But God will surely not lose sight of your faith. Allah will save your good deeds. For behold, God is most compassionate, good-hearted. Towards men, a dispenser of grace, He shows His mercy to the people. Explanation 120. i.e., whom He has given understanding. Razi, one of our prominent Qur'an exegetes, he died in 606 after Hijrah. The hard test, Kabira, consisted in the fact that ever since their exodus, they are leaving Mecca to Medina, the Muslims had become accustomed to praying, habituated to praying towards Jerusalem. Their direction was towards Jerusalem, associated in their minds with the teachings of the most of the earlier prophets mentioned in the Quran, and were now called upon to turn in their prayers towards the Kaaba. The direction of praying changed from Jerusalem to Kaaba, which at that time, in the second year after Hijrah, was still used by the pagan Quraysh as a shrine temple dedicated to the worship of their numerous idols, devoted to the worship of their numerous many idols. As against this, the Quran states that the true believers would not find it difficult to accept the Kaaba once again as their Qibla. Before it was Qibla, Prophet Abraham and his son Ishmael established it, or first Adam established it, and they re-established it. They would instinctively realize the divine wisdom underlying this commandment, underlying supporting this commandment which established Abraham's temple as a symbol of God's oneness, Tawheed in Arabic, and a focal point, central point of the ideological unity of Islam. قد نرى تقلب وجهك في السماء فلنولينك قبلة ترضاها فول وجهك شطر المسجد الحرام وحيث ما كنتم فولوا وجوهكم شطره وإن الذين أوتوا الكتاب ليعلمون أنه الحق من ربهم وما الله بغافل عما يعملون. We have seen thee, O Prophet, often turn thy face towards heaven for guidance, and now we shall indeed make thee turn in prayer in a direction which will fulfill thy desire. Turn then thy face towards the inviolable house of worship, and wherever you all may be, turn your faces towards it in prayer. And verily, those who have been vouchsafed revelation aforetime know well that this commandment comes in truth from their sustainer, and God is not unaware of what they do. We have seen you, O Prophet, often turn your face towards heaven for guidance, and now we shall indeed make you turn in prayer in a direction which will fulfill your desire, satisfy. Turn then your face towards the inviolable sacred house of worship, and wherever you all may be, turn your faces towards it in prayer. And verily, indeed, those who have been vouchsafed, granted revelation aforetime before, know well that this commandment, change of the Qibla, comes in truth from their sustainer, from Allah, and God is not unaware of what they do. God knows what they do. Verse number 145. وَلَئِنْ أَتَيْتَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ بِكُلِّ آيَةٍ مَا تَبِعُوا قِبْلَتَكَ وَمَا أَنْتَ بِتَابِعٍ قِبْلَتَهُمْ وَمَا بَعْضُهُمْ بِتَابِعٍ قِبْلَةَ بَعْضٍ وَلَئِنِ اتَّبَعْتَ أَهْوَاءَهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَكَ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ إِنَّكَ إِذًا لَمِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. And yet, even if thou wert to place all evidence before those who have been vouchsafed earlier revelation, they would not follow thy direction of prayer, and neither mayst thou follow their direction of prayer, nor even do they follow one another's direction. And if thou shouldst follow their errant views after all the knowledge that has come unto thee, thou wouldst surely be among the evildoers. And yet even you were to put all evidence, you were to show all evidence before those who have been vouchsafed, granted, given earlier revelation, Torah, the Gospel, etc. They would not follow your direction of prayer. They will not choose the Qibla that you were directed yourself. And neither may you follow their direction of prayer. You won't direct yourself towards Jerusalem again, nor even do they follow one another's direction. Jewish people and Christians' directions are different as well. And if you should follow their wrong views after all the knowledge that has come unto you, you would surely be among the evildoers. Obey Allah, don't obey them. Explanation 121. Literally, every sign, ayah, i.e. of its being a revealed commandment. Verse number 146. الذين آتيناهم الكتاب يعرفونه كما يعرفون أبناءهم وإن فريقا منهم ليكتمون الحق وهم يعلمون. They unto whom we have vouchsafed revelation aforetime, they unto whom we have vouchsafed revelation aforetime know it as they know their own children, but behold, some of them knowingly suppress the truth. They unto whom we have granted revelation before they know it as they know their own children. They know their children very well, so they know this very well as well. But behold, some of them knowingly suppress, keep secret, keep the truth secret. Verse number 147. الحق من ربك فلا تكونن من الممترين. Explanation 122. This refers in the first instance to the fact that the Kaaba was Abraham's Qibla, as well as to the biblical prophecies relating to Ishmael as the progenitor of a great nation, ancestor of a great nation. Genesis, the first book of the Torah, in Arabic Tekwin, they say, from whom a prophet like unto Moses would one day arise. So it includes, the Torah includes the coming of the last prophet. For it was through Ishmael's descendant, Prophet Muhammed Asad, peace be upon him, the Arabian prophet, that the commandment relating to the Qibla was revealed, was shown. Regarding the still more explicit, clear predictions of the future advent coming of the Prophet Muhammad, forthcoming from the canonical Gospels, see the Quranic chapter, Saf, the verse number is 6, and the corresponding note. What does Muhammed Asad say in this note? He says it is significant that both the Aramaic Mauhamana and the Greek Periklitos, Feraklit we say, have the same meaning as the two names of the last prophet, Muhammad and Ahmad, both of which are derived from the verb hamida, he praised, and the noun hamd, praise. An even more unequivocal prediction of the advent of the prophet, coming of the prophet Muhammad, mentioned by name in its Arabic form, is said to be a forthcoming from the so-called Gospel of Saint Barnabas. Barnabas is not accepted by the majority of Christians, but Muslims appreciate it. The Muslims find it more closer to the reality, to the truth. Which, though now regarded as apocryphal, was accepted as authentic and was read in the churches until the year 496 of the Christian era, when it was banned as the heretical by a decree of Pope Gelasius. Muhammed Asad says they first accepted as a canonical gospel, but later, nearly after 5 centuries, they accepted it, they considered it heretical. Verse number 148. وَلِكُلِّ وِجْهَةٌ هُوَ مُوَلِّيهَا فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ أَيْنَمَا تَكُونُوا يَأْتِ بِكُمُ اللَّهُ جَمِيعًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. For every community faces a direction of its own, of which he is the focal point. Vie, therefore, with one another in doing good works, wherever you may be, God will gather you all into himself, for verily God has the power to will anything. For every community, there is a direction for that community, of which he is the focal point, central point, Why struggle? Therefore, with one another in doing good works, try to be in front in doing good deeds. Wherever you may be, God will bring you together all unto himself, in front of himself. For verily God has the power to will anything. Explanation 123. Literally, everyone has a direction, etc. Almost all of the classical commentators, from the companions of the Prophet downwards descending, interpret this as a reference to the various religious communities and their different modes of turning towards God in worship. Ibn Kathir, in his commentary on this verse, expresses its inner close resemblance to the phrase occurring in the chapter Ma'idah, verse number 48. لِكُلٍّ جَعَلْنَا مِنْكُمْ شِرْعَةً وَمِنْهَاجًا. In Arabic, unto every one of you have we appointed a different law, shir'atan in Arabic, and way of life, minhaja. The statement that every community faces a direction of its own in its struggle to express its submission to God expresses firstly that at various times and in various circumstances, conditions, man's desire to approach God in prayer has taken different forms. For example, Abraham's choice of the Kaaba as his Qibla, the Jewish concentration on Jerusalem, the eastward orientation of the early Christian churches, and the Quranic commandments relating to the Kaaba. And secondly, that the direction of prayer, however important its symbolic significance may be, does not represent the essence of faith as such. For as the Quran says, true piety does not consist in turning your faces towards the east or west. The direction is important, but it is not everything. Allah shows Muslims, direct yourselves to that place for your prayers, and Muslims consider it. If Allah shows another way to direct Muslims themselves to that direction, so all of them are possible. Whatever Allah wants, He does. And God is the east and the west. There is another Quranic verse, 2 verses. Consequently, the revelation which established the Kaaba as the Qibla of the Muslims should not be a matter of contention, dispute, argument for people of other faiths, nor a cause of their disbelief in the truth of the Quranic revelation as such. He wants to say that Jewish people and Christians should not refuse Islam because of the change of the direction, Qibla, because Allah orders how He wants. Verse number 149. وَمِنْ حَيْثُ خَرَجْتَ فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ وَإِنَّهُ لَلْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكَ وَمَا اللَّهُ بِغَافِلٍ عَمَّا تَعْمَلُونَ. Thus, from wherever you mayst come forth, turn thy face in prayer towards the inviolable house of worship, for behold, this commandment comes in truth from thy sustainer, and God is not unaware of what you do. Thus, from wherever you may come forth, turn your face in prayer towards the sacred house of worship, Kaaba, for behold, this commandment, this order, comes in truth from thy sustainer, from Allah, and God is not unaware of what you do. He knows what you do. Verse number 150. وَمِنْ حَيْثُ خَرَجْتَ فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ وَحَيْثُ مَا كُنْتُمْ فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرَهُ لِئَلَّا يَكُونَ لِلنَّاسِ عَلَيْكُمْ حُجَّةٌ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا مِنْهُمْ فَلَا تَخْشَوْهُمْ وَاخْشَوْنِي وَلِأُتِمَّ نِعْمَتِي عَلَيْكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَهْتَدُونَ. Hence, from wherever thou mayst come forth, turn thy face in prayer towards the inviolable house of worship, and wherever you all may be, turn your faces towards it, so that people should have no argument against you unless they are bent upon wrongdoing. And hold not them in awe, but stand in awe of me and obey me, so that I might bestow upon you the full measure of my blessings, and that you might follow the right path. Hence, from wherever you may come forth, turn your face in prayer towards the sacred house of worship, and wherever you all may be, turn your faces towards it in this direction, so that people should have no argument, opposition against you, unless they are bent upon wrongdoing. And hold not them in fear, but stand in awe of me, taqwa in Arabic, and obey me, so that I might bestow upon you the full measure of my blessings. My blessings will be for you, and that you might follow the right path. Explanation 124. Literally, except such among them as are bent upon wrongdoing, regarding the intent implied in the use of the past tense in expressions like الَّذِينَ ظَلَمَ or الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. See note 6 on verse 6 of this surah. The Quran expresses repeatedly that the Muslims are true followers of Abraham. Who are not true followers of Abraham? They are Christian people and Jewish people. This claim, however, might have been open to objection so long as they prayed in a direction other than Abraham's Qibla, the Kaaba. The establishment of the latter as the Qibla of the followers of the Quran would invalidate any such argument and would leave it only to those who are bent upon wrongdoing. In this case, distorting the truth, putting in a wrong place the truth, to challenge the message of the Quran on these grounds. Verse number 151. كما أرسلنا فيكم رسولا منكم يتلو عليكم آياتنا ويزكيكم ويعلمكم الكتاب والحكمة ويعلمكم ما لم تكونوا تعلمون. Even as we have sent unto you an apostle from among yourselves to convey unto you our messages, and to cause you to grow in purity, and to impart unto your revelation and wisdom, and to teach you that which you knew not. Even as we have sent unto you an apostle from among yourselves, you know that prophet, to convey unto you, to preach you our messages, and to cause you to grow in purity. He wants you to be pure from sins, and to impart unto your revelation and wisdom, inform you revelation and wisdom, and to teach you that which you knew not. He gives information to you about something that you don't know. Verse number 152. فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ وَاشْكُرُوا لِي وَلَا تَكْفُرُونَ. So remember me, and I shall remember you, and be grateful unto me, and deny me not. If people don't forget Allah, Allah will give His mercy to them. Verse number 153. يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين. O you who have attained to faith, O you believers, seek aid in steadfast patience and prayer. Show your patience and pray regularly to God. For behold, God is with those who are patient in adversity, if you obey Allah with patience, Allah will grant you His mercy. Allah will help you. Verse number 154. وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَنْ يُقْتَلُ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتٌ بَلْ أَحْيَاءٌ وَلَكِنْ لَا تَشْعُرُونَ. And say not of those who are slain in God's cause, they are dead, nay, they are alive, but you perceive it not. And say not of those who are slain, who are killed in God's cause, they are dead, don't tell them dead people, nay, they are alive. They live, but you perceive it not. You can't understand how they live, or you can't know the great value of them. Verse number 155. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. And most certainly shall we try you by means of danger and hunger and loss of worldly goods, of lives and of labor's fruits. But give glad tidings unto those who are patient in adversity. And most certainly shall we try you by means, shall we test you by means of, through danger and hunger, no food, and loss of worldly goods, you will be poor, of lives and labor's fruits. But give glad tidings, bushra in Arabic language, unto those who are patient in adversity, a hardship, trouble. Explanation 125. Literally with something. Allah will test people with something. Verse number 156. الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Who, when calamity befalls them, say, verily unto God do we belong, and verily unto Him we shall return. Who, when calamity, disaster befalls, comes them, those people say, verily indeed unto God do we belong, we belong to Allah, and verily unto Him we shall return, and Allah will judge our good deeds and bad deeds. Verse number 157. أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. It is they upon whom their sustainers' blessings and grace are bestowed, and it is they who are on the right path. It is they upon whom their sustainers' blessings, mercy, and grace are bestowed, are given, and it is they are who are on the right path. They are the ones who obey Allah properly. آخر دعوانا والحمد لله رب العالمين.